So hey friends, so back in the garden again. As you can see, I'm over here on my steps where I normally start off, but I'm gonna skip over this area because it's kind of the same old. As you can see, the lettuce went to seed, some collards that I have to move, chamomile's dying back. The cantaloupe right here is starting to trail off, so it's starting to reach for that gate right there, so I'm excited about that. And the Yard 5 broccoli is just doing whatever it wants to do. I think I planted it at the wrong time. So there is a new addition to the garden, guys. I'm excited to share it with you guys. If you don't know, I have a business called Creative Journey, and I make a lot of natural and organic skincare products, and I grow some of the things in my yard myself that I use in my products. So the newest addition is this little herb bed right here. I wanted to have it close to my house. I always say the things that you're going to use the most, like herbs, spices, and stuff like that, plant them close to your house so that you can easily access them. But as you guys can see, this is just a not necessarily small, because I made sure it was deep so that they would have enough root area for their roots. But I have just some basil in here, some broadleaf sage down in here. That's a little bit of German thyme. I have rosemary, some peppermint, some lavender, and I had some parsley right here, but something ate it. So I'm going to have to look into that. But the parsley's gone, but there's parsley in the middle, guys. But yeah, this is all for me to come out, cut it, dry it, and use it. I have lemon balm as well, but I didn't want to fit it in there because it's been growing in the green stalk from seed. So over here, guys, as you can see, look how beautiful the Georgia collards has got. Now, the one thing I do see damage down here, so I'm definitely going to be going in with an organic spray or maybe some diatomaceous earth to do something with that. This is the kohlrabi. It needs to be pulled out. It's too hot. I also have the beautiful Scotch Vates blue kale, but as you can see, there's some holes going on. So yeah, my garden needs to be treated. The pests came a little bit later in the season. Normally, I would have had pests already. I've not been seeing a lot of eggs from, the different insects and stuff. So that's a plus. But I'm starting to see pest damage. I'm just not finding the pest that's doing it. So that's a little concerning. But I'm just going to spray some organic pesticides, or maybe put down a little bit of diatomaceous earth, or spray the leaves down, use some neem oil. I'll let you guys know what I decide to do. But other than that, just look at that, man. Look at that leaf. It's just beautiful. So I'm going to move over here, guys. You remember that this was the bin that I said it was like my panic bin. So I just didn't know what to plant in it, so I just threw a whole bunch of stuff in it. Well, look at this, guys. These are Royal Burgundy beans that I just threw in there that I showed you guys in the last video. But look, I already have beautiful beans, look, producing. And they need to be picked. But just, I love the color of these. They're very ornamental. To me, they say that they're bush type, but they vine too. So last year when I grew them, they didn't get this viney. But if you guys can look, it started to vine its way up my black cherry tomato. And the black cherry is doing very well, guys, as you can see. Running out of trellis, though. So I'm going to MacGyver something. And then over here, I have the green onion from the grocery store. And look how beautiful that they're growing. So I'm really, really impressed. These beans are just beautiful, guys. Royal Burgundy. Very, very beautiful bean, prolific. This is way more healthier than they were last year. If you guys can see, it's just loaded. In here, move out the way, my habanada has started producing, guys. And this is basically a habanero pepper that's been bred without the heat, but there you go. It's right there, little habanada. So I'm really excited about that. And it's being shaded out, so I keep trying to like push the beans out of his way to give it some sunlight. One of my favorite lettuces, the oak leaf lettuce, is finally going to seed. So I'm just going to let that go to seed to get the seeds from it, because lettuce seed is pretty easy to get. And you don't have to really worry about them cross-pollinating like that. So pretty good. And there's no other lettuce in the area close enough, so I'm not worried about it. Over here, guys, we got that big rainbow. Look how beautiful that is. The big rainbow, and you can see it has like 3 of them, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's 7 fruit on here. And I'm probably going to come out and prune some of this down, just because I want my plants to start focusing on ripening these 7 fruit. Because you don't want your plants to allow them to grow too many stems. Like this one, as you guys can see, I cut it down to 3 stems. Ideally, I like 2 stems. But sometimes if it's already, the 3rd stem is so developed, I'll just let it go, especially if it has fruit on it. But I need to cut back some of the growth, some of the suckers, maybe even some of the flowers, just to make these ripen a little faster. Down here in the pepper bin, guys, you can see it is some super action going on. Look how big they got. I'm like really, really surprised. And the crazy thing about this is, look at this pepper, guys. I have this beautiful purple pepper. It says on the tag that this is a bell pepper, but to me it doesn't necessarily look like a bell pepper. And I don't really remember growing a purple bell pepper, so I gotta go look back in my seeds and see if I open that pack, then this is probably gonna be a purple bell. We got the Lasias, supposed to be thick-walled and super sweet. Looking forward. Look at the point on that. And these are very strong. This is a 2nd plant and is loaded. And I plan on using these similar to a bell pepper, but I haven't necessarily tried them yet. But look at that, guys. The Cayennes. The Cayennes are growing really good. Down here, let me move this out the way. The Corbachis. It's supposed to be a sweet pepper. I just love how twisty these grow. Right here, this is a Grand Bell. A little elongated, but this one had a slow start. And in the back, I have a jalapeno. Look how healthy those are. And guys, this is 6 plants. 6 plants in 1 container. Peppers do not mind being together. And you can see that it's kind of a deep container, but they don't mind. Over here, down there too, guys, the basil Genovese is growing. So I'll have even more basil, because I've heard people tell me about using basil in tea. But the echinacea, guys, look at this. Look at all of those blooms compared to what I've had the past 2 years. This thing is just amazing how many blooms. I don't even know how many, but it has to be about 20 of them on here. And if you guys can see the container that I'm growing them in, it's not even a really big container. I have my Kalima beans. They're dying back, so I'm going to plant another row of these. I have borage. It's coming up really, really good. I can't wait to try some borage tea. This Rosita eggplant, guys, is absolutely beautiful. And there's one coming on there. Right there. So the Rosita is beautiful. It's massive. And I love, look at the purple tinge in the leaves. Very, very beautiful. It's a lot slower than the Chinese eggplant and slower than the Ichiban, which I normally grow. But I believe it's because maybe it's a more rounder, fuller fruit, so it takes a little bit longer, but I don't mind waiting. Over here, this mushroom basket is loaded, okay? I was not expecting this based off of the reviews on Baker Creek, but guys, just look into this. Look at that. Look how big this tomato is. And it's not even nowhere near being done. But that's the mushroom basket. And it is so healthy. It is so healthy, guys. Like, I'm counting what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's like over 10 tomatoes on this plant. I love this. I don't necessarily see the mushroom shape. I do see some blossoms, as you guys can see. Let me show you. There's some blossoms on this leaf, and when you see your tomatoes dropping blossoms, that normally means that it's too hot. So your tomatoes will start to drop blossoms if it's real hot. So don't be alarmed. We have Garden Kitty coming through. But guys, it's magnificent. Right here is my only determinate variety in the garden. And this is a purple rain tomato. And I just think they are the cutest little things. Look at that. And as you guys know, determinants, you don't want to prune them. They're going to put on all their fruit at once. I'm going to have to stake this one up right here. But look, there's 1, 2. There's 2 plants in this bucket. It's not really a bucket, but you guys can see the container it's in. Same container that I'm growing my echinacea in. Did not, and I mean did not, know that Cosmos got this big. Maybe, I'm pretty sure now there's a dwarf variety. Because I saw Cosmos in somebody's garden on YouTube. Thought they were magnificent, pretty. Found out they grow really fast. And I love that fern-like texture that they have for the leaves. Is very, very ornamental. So I was like, I'm going to get me some. Not even realizing that 9 out of 10, the person on YouTube had dwarf variety. Because, guys, look at this. Look at this. It looks like a freaking bamboo. Look at that. It looks like a bamboo stalk. And it fell over. Like, these things are massively tall. They're taller than the tomatoes. Look, here go the tomato. Down here, the little determinate one. And then all the way up. Look at that. So these are really massive. They're beautiful. I can't wait to see them bloom. But I'm just really confused. Very, very confused on why this is so large. Like, that is just massive. If I would have knew they were this big, I definitely would have chose to grow these in the front of my house. So, a little disappointing, but I'll live. I have the double pinks imperials. Beautiful flower. It only bloomed on its 2nd year. So, if you do grow stuff, guys, read the back of your seeds. Don't be like me. I threw them in like, yes, this one was beautiful in the garden. And then come to find out, it blooms in the 2nd year. So, it took me 2 years to get flowers. But they're very, very beautiful flowers. If you guys can see. And I love like the fern-like quality as well. Or the bushiness. See the growth? That's a really pretty, I feel like, border plant. And it will look really nice in like hanging baskets as well. So I'm zooming back out, guys. And here, past these gigantic I can't get over how big the stalk of this Cosmo is. It's amazing. I have my peppermint. Been growing here for about 3 years. Peppermint. Growing in container. You'll thank me later. My lavender. Been growing here for a few years as well. It's coming back. But as you guys can see, I have a lot more lavender. Corn. My corn is starting to look a little dry. And it's hooked up to drip irrigation. And I overwater it more. I water it more even with the drip irrigation than I do any other plant in the yard. Because corn just loves water. But you guys can see. This is a baby variety of corn, but you have some stalks, some ears of corn in here. I'm not really sure. I feel like I did put too many stalks of corn, but 1st year, so if I can just get a tiny bit of corn, I'd be happy. But you can see the little baby stalk right there. See that? So, yeah. Doesn't look too great though, guys. It was looking magnificent, so I'll find out. Sometimes in gardening, you got to grow something at least a year. 1st year is experiment. 2nd year, you'll figure out what you did wrong and you'll get a success. So I don't give up on that. This one is just crazy. Okay, this is the True Black Brandywine. it's just really sick looking and droopy. And I've sold these to other people, and they told me, some people said that theirs is sick and droopy. And the one thing I've learned, brandywines are really, really finicky. Out of any tomato I've grown, they're very finicky, but you can see it's putting on tomatoes. And this one actually looks like it's going to blush soon, because you see the darker green on the top. I cut back some of the leaves thinking maybe it was a sickness, but it has a new shoot of new growth right here. So hopefully this is telling me that it'll be okay, but I'm not sure. But I have more true black brandywines. That's why it's good to always grow multiple varieties in your garden. Down here, I have the cherry rose jewel nasturtiums. They look kind of wild. They're not as organized as the ones I had last year, I think, because the heat is more intense this year. But I love the bright reds and the pinks and colors. So I really like that. And I've trimmed back a lot of the leaves because at first there were so many flowers, but you couldn't see them. But these ones definitely are running and climbing the corn and climbing on everything else way more than the other variety that I grew last year, which I think was a dwarf variety. But look, guys, the flowers that I grew on the side of the arch trellis. And I believe these are zinnias. And I know I've planted Scabiosa zinnias and some other zinnias, so these may even be the Scabiosa. I love these muted colors. There's like a muted peach and a cream and an orange and a pink. Just look how beautiful these flowers are, man. So beautiful. I love this one. And they're very sturdy flowers too, because we've been having a lot of thunderstorms and rain, and they're okay. I do see some damage on the leaves right there, so I'm gonna come out here and try to pick the arch trellis, guys. Let me give you a frontal view over here. That's the rest of my Black Beauty beans. I'm going to let these go to seed because I really want the seeds. So I'm just going to let the rest of the plant. As you can see, if your plant is starting to die like this, just leave whatever's on there. I know it's tempting if you really think that they're tasty like I do. But I'm just going to leave whatever few ones are on here so I can get some seeds so I don't have to order anymore for next year. You guys can see the teddy bear sunflower is like squished in here with these Scabiosa zinnias. But it's been really hot, so it looks kind of beat up. But the trellis is growing beautifully, guys. I'll walk away to show you. But as I walk down here, you can see just how much they're climbing now. And over here, these are the noodle beans. I don't know. I transplanted these noodle beans and moved them. So they look a little jacked up, but I wanted them on this side. There's some Kentucky Wonder beans in here. You guys, Kentucky Wonder beans are like super good at vining. Like, you guys see all of that vining? But there's no beans or pods or anything on here yet. But the Kentucky Wonder is vining up. I have lemon cucumbers, white Wonder cucumbers, and also some baby midget cantaloupe, Minnesota midget cantaloupe over here. But you can see I've trimmed back a lot because I'm trying to keep this, walkway open. But you can see this thing is just covered. Look at all these flowers. It is covered in flowers. And I've been trying to trim back a lot because I don't want my plant to just be trying to grow a whole bunch of fruit. I want it to start producing now. And what you can do, you just want to tuck it in so it can just climb back up. That's the Minnesota midget cantaloupe, I believe. And like this one, you just want to stick it into your trellis. If you don't have a trellis, you can stick it into your fence. But yeah, down there, that's the bouquet deal, which I'm going to be using when I'm making my pickles. So that's really excited. And this attracts the, I want to say, the swallowtail butterfly. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So this is just a big mess of plants, but I'm hoping that fruit will be coming soon because I've been trying to, you know, cut back some of the leaves. Your vegetables do not need all of these leaves, guys. You want to cut back some of them every once in a while, get a good airflow in. And as you guys can see, like I said, the teddy bear is struggling right here. Over here, massive leaves. Here is the 1,000-head kale. These leaves are supposed to get maybe, I think they said like they can get 2 to 3 feet maybe. But that's amazing and I'm excited about that. So they're getting pretty large. Something's eating it, attacking it. So I'm just going to put down some dust on these leaves and they'll be perfectly fine. I just wanted to wait because we've been having a lot of rain. So I don't want to take the chance of letting the rain wash all of it away. That's an easy way to waste your money when you're trying to do pest control. Something else, as you can see, is eating these leaves as well. Probably some type of beetle. So I got to get something done with this. But there's a lot of new leaves coming in. But this is the black zucchini. I have zucchini down here, if you guys can see. And you can see it's right on down there. Pretty small. And last time I checked, there was another one forming, but I'm not sure. Yeah, right here, guys. There's another one forming in there. And I've been coming out trimming back because this is pretty close. Right here, guys, this is the Rampicante squash, which is definitely a vining squash. I've been training it into my fence. That's why I grew it over here as a free trellis. And you can see the Rampicante is right there. And this squash actually gets pretty big. So I'm really excited to see the amount of squash that it's going to produce. But it looks like it's going to produce a nice amount. But yeah, the Rampicante. Next to that, I have the Dixie Hybrid. And you can see there's some squash on there. And this is a very easy squash to grow. I see some ants and stuff, so I'm just going to maybe put down some ant traps. But other than that, this plant is okay. There's 2 squash. And if you have a small space, Dixie squash, Dixie Hybrid is a really good one. And it also has built-in like disease resistance. Keep cutting these leaves back because this is my Resina calendula, which is the calendula with the most medicinal benefits. So I'm definitely going to try to either dig up some of this and move it because I feel like it's just too crowded. It's not getting enough sunlight. Or just stick some more seeds somewhere out in the garden and hope that it'll grow. This is just a super sweet 100 that was trying to grow, so I just stuck it here. I should have put it. It's just a lot of plants. You really, ideally, you don't want them this close together. But when you're dealing with space, as long as you keep them trimmed, it should be okay. But that Rampicante is just beautiful. I love that it's going up the trellis. Down here, this is the plants. A lot of these plants that I had started, guys, right here, like the kales. This is, we had really, really bad rain, so they got beat up pretty good. But I'm going to give them some fish emulsion, and they'll be okay. But this is the ruby red kale and the red Russian kale. They'll recover. I want to say these are some type of decorative pumpkin. Just a whole bunch of stuff that I grew. Some red beard onion. Some winter squash again. And you guys can see the yellowing. They need some fertilizer. This tomato is actually trying to change. So this is kind of like the nurse them back to health table. But I'm not really worried about that too much. The potatoes, guys, they're starting to die back. So I'll be having potatoes soon. The Chinese eggplant. Oh, it's beautiful. The Chinese eggplant is producing a lot too, guys. But Here we go. We have one right there. Chinese eggplant. It's right there. Not as large as the Japanese Ichiban, which I prefer, but I couldn't find the seeds for it or a started plant. So I went ahead and grew these. So another one's coming in up here. Be careful because eggplants have spikes, guys. Just stabbed myself with one. There's another one coming in over there. Chinese eggplant. So eggplants are just a beautiful plant. And their flowers are beautiful. But look, the flower fell off. When flowers fall off, normally that is a sign of heat stress. Over in the green stalk, I have two out of control green two out of control green apple cucumbers. But we have one growing right here. Really cute, isn't it, guys? It's adorable. I don't want to touch it because it has a lot of spikes on it, but it's really cute. You guys can see this thing is loaded with flowers. It's just loaded. And I'm just going to let it do what it do. One cucumber finally. But there's just a lot of it. And I keep cutting it back. The green stalk. My first courgette that's turned red, guys. Look at that baby. First one to turn red. You can really eat peppers at any stage, but they're not really technically ripe. Most peppers are ripe when they turn red. More courgettes. Just an overall beautiful, beautiful plant. We got the tams that are getting stressed out by these cucumbers in their way. But guys, we have the tam jalapeno. See that? So there's a few on here. Producing pretty well. Peppers do pretty good in green stalk. I'm not going to lie, they do. This is a California Wonder. Been in here for a while. Well, not for a while, but it was started later than all the other peppers in my garden. These are just some beets. They need to come out. They're probably woody and jacked up, but they need to definitely come out. I have a lot of empty spots where my lettuce had bolted, so all of this needs to be planted. Over here, guys, the dragon tongues. I cut back a lot of this, so no animal did not do this. I did this because it was just overwhelmingly too many. But we got our dragon tongue beans. They need to be cut back. And this is what happens. For instance, if you have yours in an area where they get a lot of sun, you'll get a lot of purple because of the anthocyanin. But this one was hidden inside of the foliage, and you can see it does not have nowhere near as many distinct purpling on it. But some of these they can actually turn almost all the way purple if they're really in the sun. Because look at this one. Look how beautiful that is. Lazia, another one. First tomato, guys, of the season. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting this. I haven't been out here in 2 days. It's been raining. This is a orange hat, and this baby only gets 9 inches tall. Isn't it adorable? So, little orange hat tomato. Let's taste it. That's good. The weird thing is, most yellow tomatoes or orangey type have a very thin skin. This one actually had a thicker skin, which is very exciting. Down here, which is a shame that is being hidden by all these beans, because guys, look at all these beans. And look how purple this one is, because it was just hanging in the sun compared to the other one. But look, guys, look how beautiful it is. This is hyssop. Hyssop officinalis. And you can use this for tea, but I just think these flowers are magical. So I'm going to come out and cut a lot of this. And I need to come get a lot of these beans. If your beans get too big, you can just open them and take the beans out and just, you know, use the bean in the inside and don't eat the whole pod. But I like the whole pod, so I definitely got to get these picked. And there's more. They go all the way around. Even more beans. They're just a beautiful bean. Over here I have the Hungarian wax pepper. I want to say this may be the only one in my garden, so I might plant 2 more. I have them as starter plants. So I'm about to wind down my plant sale. I still got a lot of plants left. So if you are in the area, I am doing a special. I am willing to give you 7 plants for 20 bucks. So just contact me. Email me, urbanplantgirl31@gmail.com. Or if you have any of my flyers, you know that my other contact information is on there. But the Hungarian yellow wax. And if you guys don't know what to do with these, I actually have a video on my channel, and I stuffed them before with like crab meat and cheese and breaded them and deep fried them. Really, really good way to use them. And look, this is my cilantro that was supposed to be slow bolt, which I think is funny because the slow bolt cilantro, guys, look, it still went to seed. A little bit slower, but it's still going to seed. So this is the older cilantro that I've been had. And look, now it's forming its seed, which is coriander seed. And coriander seed is used a lot in like pickling spices or stuff like that. So I'm probably going to use this in pickling my cucumbers. And you guys can see there are a ton of seeds. See, like plants produce a lot of seeds, guys. Finally, I had some, what is this called? But look at this, guys. Look how beautiful that is. Look like something from Jurassic Park. But it's absolutely beautiful. This is a type of amaranth. I want to say they call it Chinese multicolor spinach. But look how beautiful it is. Look at the color of this plant. It's just amazing. Look at the leaves and the color of it. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Down here, guys, you can see lemon balm is growing pretty great. Out of all the seeds I sowed, only one survived, and he is doing a hell of a job. So I'm happy about him. Gigantic bee. I believe that the bee I just saw is a carpenter bee. So let me get away from him because he is just pollinating his little tail off. And I believe carpenter bees, the males can be very aggressive, even though the females are known for stinging. But still, I don't like them chasing me through my yard, so I think I'll pass. But that's just what's going on in the green stalk. As you guys know, I have a lot going on with my business, so I'm really excited about getting these beautiful flowers to put into like my scrubs and bath salts. Down Tomato Alley. A lot of the flowers are coming up right here. It was just like cut flower blends that I threw there. Another Rampicante squash that I hope to vine up around the side. These all have to be trimmed because it fell over. But this is a mushroom basket. Remember I told you guys I found it? Look how big it already got. Down here, this is the big rainbow. Right here, it's really cute. Guys, I'll show you. But this is the Malabar spinach. And you can tell it is because they have them deep red stems. But yeah, the Malabar spinach is coming up. So I am excited about that. We have the yellow pear tomato. Finally, it survived. It came back to health. It's beautiful and green, putting on flowers. So I'm excited about that. Berries, crazy cherries. Excited. Doing a good job. Right here, I believe that this is the Federly. Looks a little wimpy, but I'm just going to leave it there because I have other ones in my yard. I believe that this one right here, the black cherry, is going to be my first to Well, my first a larger one, because of course the orange hat is because it's 9 inches tall. But look at the beautiful clusters, guys. Look at this. Look how beautiful it is. I can't wait. And look, they have a nice size to them too. This is the black cherry. You see some more clusters down there. Kylo wants to be in the video, everybody. Say hi, Kylo. Look, now he don't want to be in the video, see? But you guys can see, it's just loaded. Out of all of my plants, the black cherry has grown the fastest. It has the most flowers, so it's crazy. As I move down, I have a pink Brandywine right here. At least that's what I believe it is. It's okay. A little bit small and wimpy. And I moved down some more, I believe. This big tomato right here, guys, let me move so I can show you at a different angle. But this one right here with a little bit of yellowing on the bottom, I'll cut that off. It's growing nicely, but this is the tomato. I'm not sure what it is. So it's a big tomato. It's growing really nicely. But as you can see, the black cherry is the tallest. But this is the, I don't know what it is. It's the suspect tomato. As I move back, I'm going to say that this is, of course it is, down there. This is the Dr. Witchies. This one's been pruned to 2 tomatoes. There are some tomatoes on here, guys. So these are the Dr. Witchies. There's 2, but it's like loaded, if you guys can see, in flowers. So I'll be having a ton more, and I want to cut this back. The suspect tomato is over here. It has 2 on there. Dr. Witchy, I'm looking forward to you. Over here, I have another Dr. Witchy, which is already, guys, look, getting a nice size. Trying to move this leaf. Let me chop him off so you guys can see. Well, look at that. Dr. Witchy's coming in. Really cute. On the seed pack, they look like little pumpkins, but that one only has 1 on it, but I believe I have 3 Dr. Witchies, so most likely that suspect one is probably a Dr. Witchy. I just lost the tag. Going down, another Dr. Witchies. You can see Dr. Witchies is loaded. 1, 2, 3, one bigger one, 4, another one next to it is 5. And then, thank goodness I have more of these. I'm really anticipating these. But these are the black Brandywines. And guys, look at it. The black Brandywines, they're pretty. I want to come in and give these some fertilizer, but look at them. They're beautiful. And they're pretty heavy, which makes me feel like they're not going to have a lot of seeds, and they're pretty solid. Some more black Brandywines. And they're just kind of covered. More back there, too. More right here. There's more up here in the cut, guys. So black Brandywine is doing a good job. My okra, guys, I don't know if you remember when I stuck the seeds out here, but look at the okra. I think it's hilarious that okra really does grow this fast. Now, I do see something's been eating my okra leaves, so I'm definitely going to come out here and just do some maintenance. If you let your garden go for a few days, you're going to have pest damage. But look, I have my first little Clemson Smileless okra pod coming on there. So, pretty cool. Looking forward to that. The watermelon growing up the trellis, at least trying to. It's 2 watermelon right there. I didn't have the heart to pull the other one out. These are the Sugar Snap peas. They're dying back, but it looks like something over the one plant in here, or 2 of them are healthy, and then the rest is dying back, but lots of little Sugar Snaps. Now, I do have a lot of these seeds, but I may just let some of them stay on here, but I do kind of need this space. So I might just rip it out and buy more seeds, because when you start getting weird, like look at this. When you start getting weird shapes like this, in the garden, or deformed looking stuff, a lot of times that's stress and is heat. So I might pull that off so I can give this square to something that needs it. Now, guys, what I'm really excited about, look how massive these flowers are. Now, don't be scared, guys, but that's just a fruit that didn't get pollinated. And when they don't get pollinated, they die off. So it's a dead fruit. Look how big the flower is. Look how big the flower. This is supposed to be acorn squash. It looks like more like a butternut to me, but look at it. I'm excited. This, I was not expecting to get this big. Here goes a bigger one. Right here, guys. Amazing, right? And it just wants to take over my yard. It keeps trailing. Look, it's trailing. It's putting roots down. And the little butternut, well, I keep calling them butternut because of what they look like, but these squash are everywhere. But I also have earwigs. So these earwigs, I'm definitely going to have to deal with. Earwigs can be good and bad. They do kill soft-bodied insects, but if you have too many of them, they can suck the sap of your plant. But there's plenty. And that one lettuce that finally grew, the crisp head, it went to seed, so I just got to rip that out. Because only thing this is acting as is a ladder to let other insects crawl up to get to my beautiful acorn squash. So really looking forward to that. These are the 100-day asters. I just stuck them here. I panicked. So they're here. Can't wait to see what beautiful things that they grow. How beautiful and large they get. Over here, gray zucchini. Not much action. There's a little baby one down there. But you see the flowers. The gray zucchini, it's okay. Over here, I have a melon. And this is an Inspire cantaloupe. And it's vining and it's working its way over. And it's going to try to climb this trellis. So I'm going to have to let this climb the trellis. So that's why I'm saying the beans are going to have to come out. Because I'm not sacrificing my cantaloupe. So a little bit of a mess, guys. But there's a lot going on in here. I just love these little baby melons. They're just so cute. And the flower is massive. I'm like, dag, if that's how big the flower is, I wonder what the size of a pumpkin flower is going to be. Because I haven't put the pumpkins in yet. And over here is a round zucchini. And look, another one died. So I might got to come out here and hand pollinate. But round zucchini, guys. There's little baby circle zucchinis, but there's a lot of them on here. Little scrawny plant though, so I don't know what's going on with the scrawniness. So I might hit it with some stuff and it should be okay.